One run for Gelidus.
7k dreamer please.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be looking at Gelidus level 9 after the reboot. Okay, so for Gelidus, he is still immune to magic damage and you can only use physical, and he also reflects, and he also deals 500% to 4 enemies and also blinds for 2 turns. Deals 500% to 4 enemies, burns, and also decrease buff durations. So reduction of 2 turns is going to be quite a lot on your buff, especially if he touches Shane. So I'm going to show you guys my guild buff again. Lethal damage, crit rate, increased awakening gauge charge speed, physical attack, as well as reduced enemy block. Again, this is super important, so you must have reduced enemy block. Okay, we're going to start with the run. First skill is the same. If you watched my Isabella guide previously, you will know that I will use Aragon's skill first because I want to get his awakening skill up quickly. Thankfully, Gelidus, unlike Isabella, will not reduce awakening gauges, so you can safely use Aragon's awakening skill and then cast Phoenix and followed by Lina's crit buff, and then you should be set to spam with Shane. Something to take note in the run would be you got to monitor Gelidus's awakening gauge because he charges really quickly, and you have to constantly try to reduce it with Aragon's skill. And then you also have to monitor your health. Okay, your health on your front line especially, because everyone on the front line is critical, important for Shane. So that's something you have to take note. You do not have to cast Lina's awakening skill because it does not stack with Shane. Shane already has a 150% crit buff, so Lina's 50% buff is very negligible over here. So don't bother casting it, just leave it. Again, I want to highlight about Rachel's awakening passive. Increases lethal rate by 20%. Also doesn't stack with Shane because Shane already has a 30% buff on her passive, okay? And also I think Rachel is a little bugged right now. Her lethal damage buff doesn't work as well. So now that Shane is going to be awakened, there's something I want you guys to observe. Just monitor her damage output. You will realize that it will increase over time. And why is that the case? Because they have actually changed the lethal mechanics. So lethal doesn't just do 1.3 times damage anymore. The lesser the enemy's HP, the greater the damage output from Shane. So lethal is a very important substat that you want to have on your DPS, especially hoping that they proc lethal, okay? And later on, I will show you guys my equipment and I will show you guys how to boost Shane's lethal almost to 100%. Mine is actually at 98% right now. And the crit rate here is at 100% as usual, okay? Like my item rate, my accessory rate, same thing. And I'm very lucky over here that my Shane actually got blinded but still managed to land a hit. So there are cases where your Shane will get blinded, but it's only for 2 turns, so don't worry about it. And you can still try your luck and use her skill. Hopefully it will still hit Gelidus, otherwise, you know, it's okay. It will be over after that skill, so don't worry about it. So back to what I was saying about Shane's crit rate. First you have Lina 50%, you have a guild buff 30%, Shane's base is 10%, and then followed by Masteries 10%, so that's 100%. I will explain her lethal rate count when we look at her equipment. So you have to monitor same thing, look at the crit buff above Shane's head, look at the debuff on Gelidus. So once it runs out, cast Phoenix again, this is a must. But it's generally very straightforward for Gelidus actually. And yeah, you already saw the ending, it can be done in one run. I think it is less RNG based, honestly. I think it is more about how you manage your skills. So later on in the match, I'll talk about the healing, because right now I haven't been healing and I think it's still okay. Again, willful ring on your front line is super important. And maybe I'll talk about some improvements to my team in the equipment section, because right now you will observe that it's still okay, but there are a few runs which I've tried before this when my Lina was taking quite a bit of damage. And Gelidus does have an innate lethal stat, right? So he will always target the ally with the lowest HP. So if your Lina happens to be the one with the lowest HP, then he will keep aiming for her. So over here, as my Shane and Aragon skills were both on cooldown, I decided to heal. Maybe this could have made a difference to my match, I'm not too sure, because this skill actually reduces 2 turns of healing buff, so there's no additional healing after this turn, which is unfortunate. So you observe Shane's damage output now, it is hitting the 900,000 per hit range. It was previously 800 plus 1,000 per hit. Yep, so lethal will come in very handy over here. Make your runs far shorter. And over here I totally misclicked. Okay, so Aragon was supposed to go first. But I actually went with Shane and an Awaken skill hit. Okay, so you can see that my Eileen and Aragon healed back immediately due to the Willful Ring, which is so important. And my Lina and Rachel, however, are not so lucky because they already used up the Willful Ring heal. So I have to heal up a little bit more. I know my Lina's not gonna live past the next skill, and maybe the healing was for nothing, but I really needed it. At least it was good for Shane. Shane had the healing buff, so she can still survive a little bit more. And Rachel can actually revive. And very thankfully, if you realize that your Lina is dying, please make sure you cast her crit buff before she dies, because that can last you for 12 whole turns, and I think it's super important that you actually leave it on Shane, because Shane can actually take some damage. I cast the Phoenix just in case anything happens, and I will proceed with striking with Shane again. So I really need to clear it. That I think I need 2 more Shane skills over here at this point. And there's nothing beyond waiting for Aragon to counter and cooling down my Shane. Aragon is on full counter by the way over here, unlike in Isabella. So I'm left with 200,000, okay, 200,000, and at this moment I was freaking out. I didn't want my Shane to die. I was so scared my Shane would die. Aragon cools down Shane, and she's blinded, and she's freaking blinded, and she missed. So previously she was blinded and she hit, but here she missed, and I was so scared. Like, he's gonna strike my Shane. He's gonna strike my Shane because Shane has the lowest HP. So if he strikes my Shane, I'm so screwed. Thankfully she heals up, so that's what I meant by the blind actually clears up after 2 turns. So you will definitely not have to bother too much about it. And the thing about the new turn-based progression is that you can actually guarantee such that after Gelidus does his speed attack, he will not immediately use a skill, unlike before. In the past, even if the enemy used a speed attack, he will still use a skill if his skill was ready. But currently it is no longer the case. So now I'm going to talk you through my equipment. Let's start with Shane. For Shane, double lethal Myth Awaken, okay, with increased lethal damage, max HP. I don't even have World Boss HP on her, but if you have World Boss HP, definitely give it to her. PvE skill cooldown, PvE crit, and as well as PvE physical attack. So this is the accessory that my guildmate, same guy, DC Echidna, recommended. Burn resist along with lethal rate. Okay, so this alone is able to buff Shane's lethal rate to 68%, and if you include her passive, it will be 98%. So that is amazingly high lethal for you. And burn resist over here, 60%, coupled with what Lina's passive provides, 30% to all allies. She'll have 90% burn resist rate. You can even give the formation backline protection 10%, and there she will have 100% burn resist. Or you could give it to your front line. Either way works, okay? And these are her traits and fighter soul, fully offensive, okay, fully offensive with an exclusive item. Then we have Lina. My Lina has double World Boss HP, recovery skill, status effect, and skill cooldown. Same thing as what she had with Isabella. However, I would like to suggest that for this Willful Ring, if you have the one with Isabella's Crimson Blood, which reduces damage from 4 to 5 AoE attacks, I think that would be very useful for her. I do have that, but it's not on her currently. So if she is able to reduce damage from 4-man attacks, it will boost her survivability a lot more. And of course over here, defense, mostly defensive and status resistances for her Limit Break and Fighter Soul. Then we have Eileen, also good HP armor, PvE defense, lifesteal, and also evasion. So a couple of times you will realize that in the match just now, there was some moments where Eileen did have evasion. And I think 14% evasion is actually pretty good considering how low that percentage is, but it actually does happen and it actually does make a difference. So you can even give Lina evasion if you have. Same thing, defensive and status, resistance, limit break and fighter soul. Now for Aragorn, double speed, he has the highest speed again, so this thing you must take note, he has to go first. Counter rate, double counter, I would prefer PvE armor on him because this is a PvE mode. Lifesteal, counter and defense, and I also gave him Willful Ring with lifesteal, so he lifesteals a lot, and you see that his life was still pretty full at the end. And coupled with Lina's crit buff for all allies by 50%, you can be pretty sure that he will be countering with crit attacks every time. So he will lifesteal back a lot and it will help to preserve his one-man target boost for Shane, and it also give your whole team reflect immunity. For his limit break, he does have counter rate increase, burn resist, and blind resist, and defensive fighter soul as well, and so that he can effectively reduce Gelidus' awakening gauge. And then we have Rachel, double speed, double HP, defense, increase awakening gauge, lifesteal, and the Willful Ring as well. Her limit break, the most important thing is the burn resist, and her fighter soul is defensive. Okay, and of course you need her exclusive item. For masteries wise, it is all flanked to the left. Nothing too complicated, just remember left. And basically that's it for Gelidus. I hope this video helped. Most of the other dragons can be solo as well. I will see if I have the time to record for each of the dragon. So do subscribe because there are more guides coming your way. Thank you so much and see you.